Hello everybody, welcome to HopTopics. My name is Matthew.
I'm Cameron.
And we're here to talk about Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
And more beer.
Episode 3. And yeah,
episode 3.
So,
and more beer.
And beer. And beer.
And beer.
As you already know, we're still going through the Stone Brewing, so this is another Stone, which we both really like.
Yeah, haven't had it since last year, the last time it came out. But it's a hazy double IPA. Viking Space Probe. Yeah, it was just one of their seasonal limited releases, I guess, and now it's back. I saw it at the store, and I'm like, I don't care if this ties into the episode or not, I'm buying this. So I did, and that's what we're drinking today.
Exactly. We'll get more into the beer as we go on, but as we get, again, spoiler warnings.
Yeah,
that's all this.
Spoiler warnings.
That's all. Pretty much all this episode is. So.
Yeah, that's.
But yeah, let's get on into it. What do you think of this episode, man?
I definitely thought it was another great episode.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're staying really strong and consistent with it.
Yes, great storytelling throughout. Everything's gonna come to a head, probably within the next episode or two.
Well, it kind of has to because we are halfway through the season.
Big culmination of everything in the beginning of episode 6. So Baron Zemo.
We actually get him called Baron Zemo for the first time ever in the MCU.
And he gets help broken out of jail.
Yeah. Okay, so I kind of want to go through kind of how the episode was laid out and give it a little bit more of a continuous flow.
Mm-hmm.
So the episode starts out with the GCP.
Yes, the commercial for
the GCP, GCRs.
The global global placement?
It was the global repatriation.
Yeah,
something. I wrote it down initially, but I totally forgot my note card, so I'm not gonna bother trying to remember it now. We'll just on the screen.
Basically, just it's basically formed so that they can replace people that were gone during the blip.
Yeah.
And apparently it hasn't gotten everywhere yet.
Yeah.
It's taking time.
Yeah, and that's also where I don't know, it seems like they're setting up it's a pretty obvious corporate kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of hey, we're making this out to be fairly corporate seeming. It's, or how in Civil War, Steve Rogers was very much he doesn't believe in governments, he believes in people, and that's kind of what's going on in the episode a little bit with the Flag Smashers and the GCP.
Mm-hmm.
So, but in the episode we kind of see neither side is really of that, at least.
Yeah.
Opposite right there.
Yeah.
Would be totally in the right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I'm really curious to see where that goes. I mean, obviously they made a point to open the episode with it, so, we got that. And then we get the scene of freaking John Walker and busting into where the Flag Smashers were hiding out in the previous episode.
Yeah.
And this is where we're really starting to see his true colors.
Mm-hmm.
He busts in, he has no regard for the rules, he swears, which I saw a video earlier where he says, he swears when he comes in, and then it cuts to Cap just being language, and just showing the total polarity between the two characters.
Exactly.
And then just the anger in his eyes when the dude spits in his face. Oh man. If he had super soldier serum, he would have thrown that guy through the roof.
Yep.
So that was definitely an interesting scene, and to see that they're still like operating in the bounds of the U.S. government.
Yeah.
And especially the line that the guy says to him, like, America is just becoming like a bully or something like that. I can't remember the exact wording he used, but it's like Captain America just comes in, busts down the door, and like don't give them time to do anything. Don't do this. Don't do that. Like just get them and like get the information we need before they have a chance to get rid of it. And it's just very un-Captain.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's like they're like it's the same as like when in the comics, like you were intentionally like you weren't going to like the guy.
No.
Because he was intentionally going after Steve Rogers in the comics, and he's making it very clear that he's not Steve Rogers.
Yeah. Well, he's making it clear that he's the polar opposite of Steve Rogers, and
Yes, he's an American soldier, but he is not. He's not anywhere near as like honorable or like full of valor and shit like that.
Yeah. Steve wanted to live up to the whole ideal of being Captain America. He just kind of has the shield and is like using the power of being Captain America.
Yeah,
so
he wanted to inspire people into doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Not just using power to make everybody do what you think is right.
Yeah.
Or do what you think is like what you want them to do.
Which is why in like Civil War it's like similar to that, where it's Cap. It's like, hey, sign the Accords if you want. Like, I don't think it's a great idea, but you do you, Tony. This guy's bad. I'm gonna go do this, and then Tony like directly fights him to get him to stop doing that. And at no point is he like, hey, screw you. I do what I want. He's like, I gotta do this because it, like. It's actually the fate of the world could be in danger. So yeah, I mean.
Yeah, like, but that just also goes to show like who Tony is as a character. Like, he's if he's not right, then everybody else is still wrong.
Yeah. But anyways.
Yeah. So we
got that scene.
You got that scene, and then after that. They figure out that they're like John Walker and Battlestar.
I think you can kind of see the outline of the star.
Yes. They end up figuring out that they need to go talk to Zemo and figure out like where these people are essentially.
Yeah.
And that's where
they're one step behind Sam and Bucky. Who, like, the very next scene is them, like, is Bucky
walking down the hallway.
Is Bucky going to visit Zemo. And
the first thing Zemo does is start reciting the words to, like, control him, essentially.
Yeah. It gave me a very Silence of the Lambs kind of feeling to it, where it's just like, oh, is he testing him out psychologically to see where he can, like, figure out how to get in, get out?
Well, technically, yes. He was doing a little bit of both, because he was seeing if it still works, and he also wanted to see how he would react to hearing those words again.
Yeah. And he says, I just wanted to see how much of the Winter Soldier was still in there. And then we see later in the episode that it's very easy for Bucky to slip into that Winter Soldier persona and just kick wholesale ass. That was such a cool scene.
Oh, that was so cool. That whole club scene was awesome.
Yeah. But we'll get to that.
We'll get that in a little bit.
The breakout scene was hilarious.
Yeah.
It was just like they're back in some garage.
They're in a garage, and like Sam's like, "What are we doing here?"
Yeah. So like, oh, we're gonna break him up. And like, what? No.
What? No,
that's a terrible idea.
Do you remember what happened? What he did to you?
Yeah. He like really emphasizes the whole like what Zemo did during Civil War to kind of like just a quick little exposition dump just to kind of get you caught up if you forgot exactly what was going on, or just forgot some details.
Yeah.
But then Bucky's just all like, all right, well, a hypothetical, and
Let
then
me
he
give you a
goes through
hypothetical.
the whole story of how things might end up happening, and that's exactly how things are going. It's a really well shot scene.
I really like the book that he was reading too, Machiavelli.
Machiavelli.
Yeah. I thought there was.
That have to do with like mental states and stuff like that. That seems like the last book they would give to somebody like that.
Well, he's an educated man. Like he's very well rounded and well versed in many different facets, and they were just kind of more emphasizing that as well.
Yeah, but also, we get to see that very shortly after, where we get to go to Zemo's hangar.
Yep.
Where he's got all these 1940s
they were so
cars.
cool.
Super awesome, and that's where we start getting like some of the details that like, oh yeah, he's a baron.
He's like, wait, you have money? He's like, yes, I'm a baron, Sam.
I was a baron before the Avengers destroyed my country.
Yeah.
So and it's just like, for me it was a little like cartoonish, the transition between him being like this lone wolf soldier kind of from a relatively poor country to all of a sudden being a baron wearing a big fluffy coat, having all these 1940s cars, a gold gun sitting on the the seat.
Yeah, he's spending money on something.
Yeah, well,
I don't fault the guy for any of that.
No, I mean the cars were sweet.
They were.
And then his little Alfred Butler, that looks like he's in his
Osnick.
70s.
Osnick, yes.
And that guy's got to have been in the family for a long time.
Oh God, yeah, probably.
But their exchanges were pretty funny. He's just like, oh, I hope the wine's good. Well, if it doesn't pass the smell test, it'll be good enough for them. So.
Let me check the fridge and see if there's any good food in there. And he's like, if it doesn't pass the smell test, give it to them.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man. So yeah, kind of a little interjections of the comedies there.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the plane, they're talking about like symbols and stuff like that, Captain America, and the part that I really liked about that scene was the book, Steve's book. Bucky has
spelled Marvin Gaye.
Yeah.
How do you not like Marvin Gaye?
And the 40s music.
Everybody loves Marvin Gaye.
Yeah.
Zemo Trenton, I like Marvin Gaye.
And then when Zemo's just all like, oh yeah, the album's a masterpiece.
Yes.
And then,
it's very symbolic of African American culture.
Yeah. So like, he's out of line, but he's right. But
yeah, I love that part. That part was fantastic.
Yeah, and it just kind of shows like how Bucky's just an old grumpy man, just kind of still young because of serum and being put in and out of stasis all his life.
Man trapped in out of time.
Yep. But yeah, fun little scene, and then there could also be other things like Bucky using it, because like Cap would have given it to him, hoping that he would start like going through the things in the book, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like, but he's using it to go back into the past, to like go back and fix what he's done wrong, and then Steve was using it, to find out what fun stuff he missed.
They use the book for going back through the past, but for different reasons. Like Steve was trying to catch up and find out what had happened while he'd been frozen, and Bucky's trying to go back to the past to try and make amends.
Yeah.
And possibly at the end of that, move on. We also get the reference to Mr. Nakajima again.
Bucky almost rips off Zemo's head right there.
Yeah, exactly. Which I'm really surprised he didn't get like a punch or something. Like,
Seriously.
I was expecting it. But, yeah, so I mean, like, you get, the back and forth between the three of them on the plane was great. And then they talk about Madripoor.
Madripoor. This very cool scene just in the show in general. And then even the one line, because I watched this Thursday night, and it was, what was that? Was that right after we did our
Right
video?
after we did our other video?
For
Until
Godzilla Kong, and they make a Skull Island reference.
Yeah, what is it, Skull Island?
I thought that was pretty funny.
You're talking like this is Skull Island.
Yeah. In reference to Madripoor.
I was like, I'm pretty sure this is the only time anywhere that I've ever heard the word archipelago used correctly. And I was like, never thought I'd hear that word used correctly.
But Madripoor is a big comic book location.
Yes, very big.
Specifically, mostly for the X-Men and Wolverine a lot. But like they still present it as pretty much the same kind of place where it's like very underworld, but like really high end underworld.
Yeah.
Kind of stuff. All sorts of armed guards and
you constantly see people like with guns standing guard. They're always watching, and you see in the backgrounds you saw the Princess Bar, you saw the picture of the monkey on top of the overhang, and then in the background there was also one for the power broker, and the power broker is watching.
Yeah, like a big brother is watching you kind of thing.
Exactly.
The power broker.
Because
cool.
they also, because he mentioned there's a low end and there's a high end.
Yeah.
And they said that like Baron
Low
Zemo.
town and high town.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah. And Zemo only knows people that are in low town.
Yeah.
Which you still could make a great big ton of money off of all these people.
Oh yeah. For sure.
But he has no friends in Hightown.
Yeah. And so they try and go and get information from somebody, and
Selby.
they all have to play. Yeah. Well, they all have to play like characters,
and they have to stick to their characters, or else they're all going to die.
or else they're all gonna die. and so Bucky has to be the Winter Soldier again, and just basically stare at people and scowl the whole time. Just
and Sam has to be Smiling Tiger.
Smiling Tiger, which is another comic book character. I think he was a mutant.
I think so, yeah.
But
which I didn't think that we'd get so many mutant references.
Yeah,
in this
like a lot
episode,
of X-Men
which is
references.
which is interesting. And I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Because even the character that they end up seeing later on, Selby is also a mutant.
Is a mutant.
And so, like, obviously not in this.
Not in this, yeah.
Yeah, they are, because there've been all sorts of different variations of that character.
Yes.
Or different people just named that.
Mm-hmm.
So, they just had somebody that's like an information broker kind of style person. Mm-hmm. And then as soon as things start turning south, I mean, the bar scene first with freaking one with Sam taking the shot. Yeah. I love these. I'm like, how insanely out of character must that be?
I was
Zemo made him do this character without knowing anything about him.
Yeah. Well, Zemo had an idea, but Sam had no clue, and it was very apparent the entire time.
Yeah.
Although he did look like him.
Yeah. The picture that they show him, they got a guy that looks very similar to Anthony Mackie.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And so that was actually pretty funny. And he's like looking at the picture and he's like,
It does look like me.
and then he mentions like he's dressed up like a pimp. And Zemo's all like
only
only
a well-dressed African American would think he'd be a pimp.
But yeah, the fight scene where he basically Zemo has Bucky playing the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
And then he tells him like, "Yep, Winter Soldier, attack." And just destroys everybody.
Seriously, he takes out like 9 to 10 people, and it is not even. They do not stand a chance at all. It's totally one-sided.
It's the kind of thing that you expected from the second episode where he's like, "I got a vibranium arm."
Yeah.
And then he gets his butt kicked. No, this is the exact opposite.
Yeah,
I got a vibranium arm. And then he kicks ass with it.
Yeah. Little girl just kicked your ass.
Yeah. What happened to the vibranium arm? I'm right-handed. Forget about it. I'm right-handed. But that was a great fight scene, and then leading into the scene with Selby, and Sam's sister calling them, breaking their cover, and then all of a sudden she gets shot through the heart, and you're just like, whoa, this scene took a turn.
Yeah, right as it was about to get real bad, Selby gets shot, and then everybody just beats the crap out of all the guards.
Yeah.
And they're like, we need to get out of here now.
And then we get Sharon Carter.
Sharon Carter, yeah.
Which I was not expecting Sharon Carter to pop up in this either.
I was not expecting her to appear in Madripoor.
Yeah, but it's definitely one of the last places you would expect her to appear.
Yes, but it all makes sense.
I mean, it makes sense. Like, they explain it in a way that, makes sense. In some ways, it does feel like, they could have used literally anybody. They could have made up a brand new character for this, for this role. But they decided to go with a familiar character, and, that gets people's speculation going crazy.
Oh, seriously.
Which they're really good at. Especially towards the end of the episode with Sharon. So, it's, it gets your speculation wheels turning pretty hard.
Easily. And I'm already trying to think of what's going to happen in the last 3 episodes.
Oh, yeah. I try not to think about it, but inevitably I will. And then, of course, even leading up to us shooting these videos, I do kind of look into some of the Easter eggs and stuff, and, videos pop up here and there that are just all like, oh, hey, did you notice this thing about the episode? And I'm all like, maybe. And then speculation goes wild, which we'll talk more about speculation at the end.
Later down the line.
At the end.
Should we talk about the beer?
Yeah, we should talk about the beer. Let's talk about the beer real quick.
Yeah, we're about halfway through the episode right now.
Yeah, and this is where all the, big plot point moves start really coming in. Obviously the breaking out of Baron Zemo is, a
that was great.
Massive deal.
That was great.
That's it. And the guy who plays Zemo, Daniel Bruller, fantastic actor.
Fantastic. Oh, I like him. I like him in a bunch of other things too. Yeah. But
I liked him ever since I saw him in Inglourious Basterds.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that performance was great, and I think a big reason why he didn't get more credit was just because freaking Christoph Waltz was 100 times more amazing than everybody in that movie.
Pretty much stole the entire movie.
But yeah, he's great in the episode.
Oh yeah,
and I imagine he's going to be great throughout the rest of this season and throughout the rest of him being Baron Zemo. But yeah, Viking Probe. Another stone beer, double hazy IPA. The kind of beers that we like.
The kind of beers that we've been doing.
Yeah. I promise we're going to switch up styles. Especially for Black Widow. We already got that one picked out.
Yeah, we're already ready for that.
We're already
just need July to come by.
We're just waiting for that movie to come back. And maybe try and plan ahead more in the future, but it's tough.
We planned ahead for our Thursday video.
Yeah, I know. Oh, you did most of that.
We just need to grab the beer.
You did most of that.
Yeah.
But anyways, hazy double IPA, 8.5%, which, as you know, we're fans of.
Yes.
Anything in that 8 and over range is like right where we want to live.
Yes.
When we're drinking beer.
I want to feel the beer when I'm drinking it. Okay?
Yeah, I want it to remind me that I'm drinking a beer.
Exactly.
Like, that was the thing about the banana bread beer last week, was it did not remind me that I was drinking a beer.
Mm-hmm.
It made me feel like I was drinking a really flat soda.
Yeah. Yeah. It was not the greatest. It was not the greatest.
Yeah.
But I'm very happy I went with that one, or other than any of the sours or Belgians.
Sours would have been rough to drink. 3 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we ever do a sour for the channel, I think that's going to be a one beer video.
Yeah. You're gonna be sipping on one beer.
Oh yeah. I mean, sours are supposed to be sippers since
That's
the point.
Yeah.
You're supposed to taste them.
Yeah, but I mean, like, okay. So anyway, the Space Pros.
The Viking Space Pro. Cool name.
Very.
Pretty cool bottle. I mean, very classically stone. I'm honestly, I don't know if this is just because I'm overly tired or if I'm just not getting a whole lot from this time, but it's a good beer.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, it's just kind of like there's nothing that's really like popping out at me right now.
Yeah, it seems like this time it seems a little more muddled.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It's not.
It's hazy for sure.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I was looking at the bottle earlier. I'm all like, there's actual like sediment from the unfiltered process of this beer. Like, it's pretty interesting, but and nothing wrong with the beer.
No, not at all.
It's a fresh beer. Its dates are good. Like, we're gonna live, but it's just you don't see that in a lot of beers, especially a lot of hazies, because they tend to be canned or in really dark bottles.
Yeah, well,
so you can't usually tell how hazy a beer is.
There.
And then if you get it from a tap, like, you're not going to get the bottom of the barrel.
Mm.
So you don't usually see that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, nothing wrong with it. A little extra texture towards the very end,
if
anything. But yeah, ultimately, I remember this being better.
Yeah, same. It's not bad. It's just
not by any stretch. I mean, when I saw it, I got excited. I was like, ooh, Viking Space Pro. I remember that beer being really good. I might have just really liked it because it was 8.5%, and I drank like 4 or 5 of them in a night and just let that ride.
I'm going to bed. Yeah.
But,
I mean, that does definitely sound like us.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, it's not in any way bad. It's just, it seems like they muddled down the flavors. Like, I could have swore this was a little bit more on the hoppier side of a hazy.
Yeah. But it is a double, so, like, you can tend to get some more malty flavors from double IPAs as opposed to hoppy flavors, because they try and amp that kind of thing up to get with the hoppy flavors. But with it being hazy, I feel like that kind of undercuts some of the hops too. And, like, I don't get any very pronounced fruit notes.
Yeah.
Which is rather different from a lot of hazies. Because you usually get like a very heavy juice note to it. But this is more just like, it seems like it's a lighter IPA than what it is.
Yeah.
It seems like it's more of like a 6 to 6.5 kind of alcohol beer. It's definitely got some bitterness to it though. Like when it's after you've taken a couple drinks and like I'm noticing a lot more like
when you get a little closer to the bottom, you get a little more of the bitterness that we're used to.
Yeah, but it's got a little like astringent flavor at the back of the tongue. It's just kind of like, there are hops.
Maybe like a light tangerine.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like a light tangerine, because like tangerines usually are very sweet. They're a little more citrusy.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, I can kind of get that. I'm not getting as much of that, like, bright tartness that they kind of tend to get.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what I was like. I was like, maybe like a light tangerine?
Yeah, or maybe more like a stone fruit kind of... stone fruit. But like a peach or nectarine that's not, like, super ripe.
Yeah, like a nectarine. I can definitely... Yeah. Nectarines, yeah.
I feel like I should eat more fruit drinking all these hazies, because I'd probably better be able to identify what specific fruit flavors I'm getting.
Yeah.
Like, yes, some light prune and date.
Well, those would be a little more like, kind of like, more raisiny.
Yeah.
But like not as...
but like if I were to taste that in a beer, I'd just be all like, oh, that's kind of raisiny.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be all like, oh, that reminds me of, when I had dates last week. Like, it would just be all like, it tastes like wilted fruit. Which actually, dates are delicious.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
Going to the desert, having a date shake is one of, like, my favorite things. They're so good. But anyways, I digress. In my memory, I would give this a solid 4.
Same.
But as it stands here,
as it is right now,
I'm leaning more towards a 3.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. It's not a bad bear by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
It might just be a Bad Batch.
Yeah, true.
Which might be a show that we might talk about later. The Star Wars
Bad Batch.
I don't know if we're going to talk about it, but I want to watch it, so.
Yes.
But yeah, Viking Space Probe, Hazy Double IPA. It's definitely hazy.
Yes.
It has flavors of IPA. So it's not
as bitter as like IPAs, so I mean you don't have to really worry about that.
It's not like super dry or bitter.
No, not at all. You're getting, it's more leaning towards the hazy side. But I mean it's not overly fruity or citrusy.
No like. I mean,
it's just like
I kind of get some fruitiness with some of that bitter hoppiness at the end.
Yeah, but I mean it's like super middle ground.
Yeah.
I'm very sad. Because I remember this being really good.
It's a slight disappointment.
Yeah. It might have
been. Nonetheless.
Bad Batch.
The show must go on.
Indeed.
3 from him, 3 from me. And maybe I'll get some more. And then we shall see.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, let's
back to the show.
Back to what we really want to talk about. We want to talk about more Falcon and Winter Soldier.
So Sharon Carter takes him back to her place, which is in Hightown.
Yeah, Hightown. Now they have a friend in Hightown.
Yep.
Where she's been working
pretty much
underground stuff because she's basically unable to go back to the U.S.
She's an enemy of the state, so she can't really go anywhere.
Because she stole Cap's shield and Falcon's wings for them.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's kind of funny to see her, like, becoming this big underground figure after being, like, like the little girl that wants to follow in her grandmother's footsteps, kind of...
Peggy's footsteps,
yeah. Like, at the beginning of, is that Winter Soldier, or, no, Civil War.
Civil War.
At the beginning of Civil War, when she's giving her, like, her speech talking about the virtues and everything that Peggy stood for.
Yep.
It seems like a complete 180. But then again, the blip made a lot of things messed up and turned a lot of people's lives completely upside down. So
well, I think that, and also like you adjust to survive.
Yeah.
And she has definitely done that. She's survived pretty much since Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
Through the blip and everything like that, so...
Yeah. And which also brings to mind, like, she was not only an enemy of the state for that 5 years in between Infinity War and Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was even the years leading up to Infinity War after Civil War.
Yep.
Like, there's a lot of time in between that.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah. She's been at this for a while.
Yeah. But she's definitely put her skills to good use and has a lot of original Van Goghs and Monets.
Monets, yes.
We get to see the whole art gallery and like
he looks it up.
Tickle the conspiracy theory.
Sam looks it up. It was glorious. He's like,
yeah.
What's it say?
What's it say? No way. But yeah, so we see that, like, you know, even though her life was becoming an FBI agent, like, I mean, I don't know. I feel like the promise that Sam made her is like kind of just, you see where I'm living right now?
Yeah, she probably.
If anything, she'd want to go back to the U.S. to retire.
Yeah, I was like, he's probably going to actually. It's probably actually going to happen, but I don't know. She might end up being a bad guy.
She might.
You never know. Or at least maybe a double agent. Who knows?
We'll see. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of speculation to be had because obviously, she's got some manner of connection to the power broker.
Yes.
And we're seeing that kind of starting to unfold, like watching the whole episode. You see that at the very end, where it's like, all right, like there's a lot more going on to her character than just she's
saving
them,
yeah,
and helping them out randomly. There's going to be a lot more going on with her in the future.
We'll probably see that the next.
But then we get the scene with
probably not the next episode, but probably episode 5.
Yeah, but then we get the lab scene where they're like at the shipping containers and they find the little secret lab. And then they find the scientist who recreated the super serum, the super soldier serum.
He
perfected it.
Yeah, he made it better.
Yeah, to be subtle and not take giant machines and like, be all this crazy wonkiness and like turn your body into like.
Yeah, basically they took what Steve Rogers was and like they made him massive. Like he basically perfected it so that it would still be Steve Rogers in that tiny body, but with the abilities as how he was with Captain America.
Yeah. And then we get the all important portion of, well, how many did you make? And he said 20. And from the previous episode, we know that there are 8 super soldiers and the Flag Smashers who stole the serum. So there are still 12 super soldier serums out there. And after Zemo hears that he hasn't created any more super soldier serum beyond that 20 vials for the power broker, he kills him. Like, just...
Yep.
And
without warning, which I was kind of expecting.
I was expecting it. Like, as soon as he picked up the gun...
Well, like, not only that, like, I was watching him the entire time during that episode. Because, when he walked away from Sam and Bucky, I was like, oh, he's trying to find something to kill him with.
Yeah.
He's just waiting for the right opportunity to do it.
Oh, totally. I mean, you could kind of see that earlier in the episode when he's going through the cars and stuff and getting his gear. Like, when he finds his mask. Like, he's not showing them everything that he's grabbing. He's kind of, like, blocking the view. And, like, I feel like there was a quick glance over the shoulder when he grabbed the mask.
Oh, yeah, he did.
And, he puts it all in a bag and then they go to the point.
He's playing along for now because he's trying to essentially, like, get what he wants. Like... Which right now is playing along with Bucky and Sam.
Yeah. And, we're going to kind of see how that unfolds, but, I mean, his whole back character story was that, he is a baron, he's from a wealthy family, but he was also part of the Sokovia military as somebody that literally was going around trying to dismantle Hydra, and specifically the Super Soldier program.
Yep. He's very against the super soldiers.
Yeah. And this was even before the whole Sokovia thing happened. This was his mission long before the Avengers Age of Ultron happened.
Yep. Exactly.
So we see, a lot more of that motivation come out when he does. He shoots him as soon as he's all like, "Oh yeah, there's no more." Boom.
Yeah.
And then Sam and Bucky get all pissed at him, and he almost gives a face of like, "How did you not see this coming?" Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like, of course I'm gonna do it.
You didn't see that coming.
Like,
did you not see that coming?
Seriously. Yeah, I'm like, of course he's gonna kill him. The whole point of what they're doing is to try and stop them from being more super soldiers.
Yeah, exactly.
Why would you not want to do something to subdue the guy that created it?
Yeah, it's not like he's going to stop making it. Even if he goes back to America, you've obviously seen that the CIA wanted the super soldier serum.
And the main reason he had the components for the super soldier serum, which I got wrong last week, Isaiah Bradley was never a lead-in to Steve Rogers. He was always like after Steve Rogers.
Yeah.
When the CIA was trying to
recreate
the serum, and then that's how Isaiah Bradley came about. So this is actually, the show's actually following more along the lines of what he really was. But anyways, that's where, like, when he says, the U.S. government had blood samples that he was able to get trace amounts of the serum from and piece it together and then make it better. Yes, that's what he managed to do, and that's where he got that sample from.
Yeah, exactly.
Isaiah Bradley.
Yeah.
Which was an important reveal from the last episode. And I'm really hoping for a flashback scene of Isaiah and Bucky fighting, because I really want to see Isaiah ripping off his arm. That just sounds so dope.
Right?
That'll be my prediction for this video.
We get a flashback?
I see that.
Nice.
Not because I think it's going to happen, but because I really
want it to.
I feel like it needs to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then right after Zemo kills the scientist, and I keep forgetting his name.
Nagal.
Who was apparently supposed to be a character that, if he was really who he was in the comics, he would be way older.
Yes.
He was the original person to experiment with Isaiah Bradley.
Yeah.
Immediately somebody
blows up the container, yeah.
Yeah. Which makes me think, like, alright, this is supposed to be played in a way that looks like the power broker is attacking them, but if the power broker was attacking them, he wouldn't blow up the lab where his scientist who created the super soldier serum is, and he wouldn't know that he's dead.
Yeah.
Like, it happens right after Zemo kills him, and then boom, and then Zemo slips off. And I'm just like, wait, what? But we'll see where that goes. Hopefully that's not as sloppy as it appears right now.
Yeah.
And then we get a really cool action scene, especially with Sharon fighting off all these dudes.
All the mercenaries and stuff, yeah.
And watching her go about, especially with the big Bowie knife.
Yeah.
And like stabbing the guy through the arm and like ripping it out and like stabbing this guy, shoot that guy, break this guy's neck, like pretty brutal fight scenes for MCU.
She was definitely prepared for this, and yeah, it is definitely brutal. It was nice.
Yeah,
it was nice.
I mean, you can see that she doesn't hold back any punches.
She's ready.
Straight up business. And then we don't
see Zemo, and then he comes
we don't
back.
see Zemo at first, and then he comes back and he's
wearing his mask.
So he's got his like full costume,
Yep.
minus the golden gun.
When he put on that mask, I was so happy because I was like, "Oh, it looks like the comic."
It really does look like the comic.
It's so
comic
cool.
Mask. Like the whole outfit isn't all comic accurate because it's really purple and gold, and
yeah, he's very into purple and gold.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, it's like
But-
colors.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to actually say that. But, yeah, he puts on the mask, and I'm just all like, oh, there's the big fan service moment of this episode right there.
And then he
100%.
just kicks the crap out of like all these other guys that are trying to come up on Bucky and Sam.
Yeah.
And just beats the crap out of them and clears a way for them. And then he disappears again.
Mm-hmm.
And then he finds the car.
And then he finds the car. And
He comes up, he pulls up next to him, he's like, supercharged.
Yeah. I was going to go back and check out what kind of car it was. Because even in none of the videos that I watched mention what kind of car it was.
I couldn't tell, because like, they didn't
focus on it too
They didn't focus on it too much, yeah.
But, convertible, muscle car.
The interior was beautiful, though, too.
Everything.
The muscle car was
just beautiful.
So pretty.
Everything.
And
And then we get probably my favorite joke of the series so far was
You're not gonna
Bucky, are you gonna move? You're not gonna move your seat up, are you?
No. Which is a reference to Civil War, where Sam didn't move the seat.
Are you gonna move your seat up?
No.
So good. That was
I
definitely
love all
my
these. I love all
favorite little joke.
these
from
callback
the
jokes
show.
are just perfect.
But then they drive off, and then immediately Sharon Carter's all like, all right, let me go around this corner, and there's my assistant in a car waiting for me, and like, we got two problems.
We got two problems. Yeah, tell the power broker we have two problems.
Yeah.
Which you don't know
no,
what.
Did she say tell the power broker? Or, like, let them know? Or I feel like it was a little bit more vague. Because, the way the scene felt to me, like, at the moment was, oh man, are they setting her to be the power broker? And then I was like, no, that's too obvious. That's like gotta be a red herring.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is, it's gotta be.
Yeah.
Which got me thinking about like, all right, who's the power broker? Like, I don't think it's gonna be anything super obvious.
No.
Which is why all the fan theories online are amazing.
Very true.
You just watched the episode, so you haven't really had a chance to like.
But I've tried to avoid everything, and I try to avoid everything before we do these videos.
Yeah.
And then I'll watch everything after, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I see that, I see
Yeah.
that. Because I want to hear what you think.
Yeah. I like to do the same thing, but I also like to watch some of those videos just because I like being I like having the things kind of like hammered into my head.
Like continuous theories going, which seems who's right.
Well, it's kind of more like making sure that I remember all the points in the show that I want to talk about, and it's. Sometimes I'll, like, before with WandaVision, I wouldn't watch any of the videos before anything, and, like, we'd talk about it, and then I'd watch a video and be all like, oh, that's a really good point. Or, like, oh, I totally forgot to mention that thing that they said about this character, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I'm like, I thought about that when I watched the episode, but then I totally forgot about it when I talked about it.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what happened for the first episode of Falcon and
Winter Soldier.
I didn't watch anything before that, and I just kind of started, like, it kind of gets me mad-living about the show, where I'm just, like, jumping around scenes, and then I'm like, oh, yeah, no, there's this part, too. Yeah, and then if we both don't think about it, then I totally forget, and then...
Yeah.
Then we...
and then here we are.
We miss information, and, it's still, it's not like it's a huge deal. We don't have millions of followers or anything.
No.
Scrutinizing every move we we make.
Even if we did, we probably wouldn't care.
Yeah, that's mostly true.
But yeah, so like, so after,
what's the point if you can't be yourself?
right? Exactly. So like after the Sam, Bucky, and Zemo fly off again, and that's when they realize. That's when Torres gets called, and like to find. Oh shoot! What was the lady's name? Donya. Mama Donya.
Oh yeah.
Mama Donya.
So that's actually a scene that we kind of glossed over was.
When she died.
Yeah. Carly, the Flag Smasher,
the leader of the Flag
Smashers.
Yeah.
Which also a fun fact that I learned from watching videos is Carly is actually a reference to the Flag Smasher character, her name's Carly Morgenthau, and the Flag Smasher in the comics is Carl Morgenthau.
Yep.
And he is the Flag Smasher. So, yeah, that's interesting little play. Like, I remembered that's one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, I knew about that, and then totally forgot about it when we did our video. So, you know, this is why I watch videos, so I can take notes and it better reinforces ideas in my head. And then neither
There's nothing wrong with taking notes.
My suspicions.
If that's what you need, you take notes.
Yeah. It's how I work, okay?
I go off of him. It just brings up more information because I have lots of comic book information.
He's got a lot more comic book information than I do.
I've been reading for a long time.
Yeah, and that's what we do.
Exactly.
That's why we talk about these things.
That's why we're here.
That's why we do what we do. That's why they're meant to do it. But,
well, that and the beer.
And the beer. It's an excuse to drink 3 beers. On any given night that we shoot.
And now we get to do 2.
Yeah, now we got 2 nights. But, yeah, we get to the scene where, you know, she goes and visits this older woman who's sick in bed, and then...
she got TB. She got tuberculosis.
Yeah. But,
which means you're kind of screwed.
Oh, yeah.
Especially in, like, a underdeveloped part of any country, you're very screwed. I'm sorry. It's just, if you don't have, like, access to a lot of things, you're not gonna make it, unfortunately. But I mean, like, which is what they're hitting on. Like, these characters are trying to not necessarily save, but be there when nobody else will.
Yeah.
And which is why I don't think that any of these people will end up facing, like, jail time.
Well,
I think they're going to end up being part of...
You kind of feel that all the way up until the very end of this episode. Where it's like,
when she goes and they raid the
GCP fucking place, and
they raid the, like, food.
They raid to steal supplies to bring to their people, and then as they're leaving, Carly's all like, "Oh, blow it up!"
It blows, and the car.
There's still people in there, and
it's like this is the only way that these people are going to listen.
Yeah, which is just like, oh well, now you're just them, just in a different way.
Exactly, like you're no better than they are. You're just, yeah. But so like I'm thinking that by the end of this, they become like somewhat part of the Thunderbolts. This is a lead into the Thunderbolts.
I can see that. I can also see a lot of the Flag Smashers just getting knocked off one by
they
one.
probably, okay, not all of them are going to make it.
Well, I feel like Carly's probably going to be the one that
yes,
really make it.
And probably maybe 2 to 3 more.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, like the dude that was talking to her.
I think he's going to die.
You think he's going to die?
I think he's going to die. Because I'm pretty sure he was the original guy in the first episode.
Yes, he was. Yeah, he was.
Because they're like they set it up with like the wild hair and stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
so I was wrong. Captain America did not die.
No.
U.S. Agent did not die in the 3rd episode.
No. And it honestly looks like he might
he
might actually make it through the series.
He might make it. Well, the character John Walker will make it through the series. he will make it through the series.
He won't be Captain America.
He won't be Captain America.
No.
He'll by the end of the series he'll become U.S. agent. He will probably not have the shield.
No.
I think
we saw the trailer where Sam's throwing the shield.
Well, yes, but like I think that's gonna happen down the line, like episode 6. Like
yeah,
like,
well,
you said.
I feel like it would be like. Now I'm starting to feel like it might be like a post-credit scene almost, where it's like he takes the shield and finally embraces that Steve wanted him to uphold the ideals that he had brought up for being Captain America.
Being Captain America, yes. I think, I still think his buddy's gonna die. I still think Battlestar's gonna die, and that is what is going to trigger him into. He'll probably end up getting the super soldier serum. By the end, probably within, I'd say probably with episode 5, because his friend's gonna die, and then that's how he ends up getting the soldier serum, and then they're gonna fight against the power broker, trying to get the serum back.
Definitely a possibility.
And then it's gonna end up. It's gonna end up in the U.S. And then it's gonna end up in the U.S. And that's what leads into the Thunderbolts and leads into a bunch of other spin-offs. Also, with them being in Latvia, which could be leading into Doctor Doom.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure.
I was going to mention that.
And I'm pretty sure there's been 100 videos about that.
There haven't been 100 videos. I actually only. I only saw 3 videos.
I've seen 5 or 6.
Yeah, I only saw a little bit, but yeah, there is a line at the very end of the episode where it specifically says they're in Latvia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's where Zemo's as soon as Sokovia hadn't even been cleaned up before the neighboring countries annexed the land.
And took it over, yeah.
And Latvia is where Dr. Doom is from, and so people are already well, is that how he gets vibranium? Is that how he does this, that, and the other thing? Oh man, is he amass power this way? And so this is it's definitely got that Reed Richards in WandaVision kind of feel to it. This one seems way more plausible.
I don't think that he'll make an appearance.
No,
not in the slightest.
No, I feel like this is literally just a Easter egg.
Yes, exactly.
It's exactly that.
It's exactly that. Egg. Same thing. The same thing is I have a friend who works on yeah. So we're going back with that whole thing, but it's not going to be. It's not going to.
This could literally be referencing Doctor Doom, but we're not going to get any actual Doctor Doom reveals or anything like that in this series.
Yeah, no. It's just going to be.
It's just kind of a line that they're putting in now, so that when they bring it up later on, they've got that little bit of foundation to really put a foot down on
exactly
and get things laid out from there. And then we see
Bucky go for a walk.
And start picking up these
little beads. And if you know any of these these Marvel movies, who has beads?
Yeah.
Wakandans.
And it seemed
glorious.
It seemed even because we've seen the character before.
She was in Civil War when she talked to Natasha.
Civil War, and she was in Black Panther, obviously. But,
Yes, she was.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to remember. Yeah. I had to remember what part she was in.
Yeah.
But yes, she was.
A lot more brief, but definitely in there.
Definitely. But yes, it's very true, she was in there.
But, yeah, so basically, she's just we're here for Zemo. But way more pissed off.
Mm-hmm. Very angry.
We're here for Zemo. Except in Wakandan and a female voice.
Yeah,
and not
very angry.
Batman.
Not Batman.
But, yeah, we get to see that, and that was definitely, we talked about it briefly before we shot this video. It was like, that was a huge surprise to both of us.
Dude, yeah, I did not see that coming, but I could see
time, like,
why.
As soon as we saw it, we're just like, whoa, and then we're all like, that makes sense.
Exactly.
It was like,
they
realization, and then just like, oh yeah. Like,
they did reference, like Sam did reference it way early in the episode.
Yeah. But it was such a throwaway line.
It was super in passing.
It wasn't, and it didn't seem like it was going to go anywhere, or it was literally a throwaway line.
Yeah.
And then, end of the episode, we got it.
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of got to see, how Bucky's going to play this out, because I'm sure there's going to be a part of him, like, he spent years in Wakanda. And,
I wonder
he's probably got a strong tie to the Wakandans, and he doesn't like Zemo.
No, he really doesn't.
But he needs him.
Yeah.
Right now.
Like, right now. Yeah. Oh, okay. So, I still think Zemo's gonna get away somehow. And he referenced the memorial as they were walking up to the place. So, the shot that we get of him walking up to the memorial, that's probably going to be in the last part of the 6th episode.
It might be in the next episode.
They're might
in
be.
Latvia right now.
They are
right
in Latvia, but I think everything's going to happen very fast within the next couple episodes, and then them kind of going back is what's he's going to disappear somehow in the next couple episodes.
Well, they kind of already showed that he's very good at disappearing X.
Yes.
In this episode, so. And with this prison break and everything that they show of him in this episode, he's very good at getting around people. So it's they're setting up that he's gonna just dip once. Once he's got
so I think that we're gonna get the scene of him walking up to the memorial in Sokovia in the last episode. John Walker is going to lose his friend Battlestar in the next episode, probably near the end, because they're going to fight the Flag Smashers, not necessarily taking them out, but in some rudimentary way, they're trying to get supplies or some crap like that, which leads to his friend Battlestar dying. That's when John Walker loses the shield. That's when Bucky gets it. And keeps it. Sam ends up getting the shield in episode 5. Not necessarily using it to the full extent, but that's when we actually get the fight between the Flag Smashers, Bucky, Sam, and the Power Broker. And Zemo is probably going to leave within episode 5, as everything's starting to turn in their favor, in Sam and Bucky's favor. And when they realize that the Flag Smashers are not bad people, they're just trying to help people. And they're trying to help the Flag Smashers at that point. Zemo's gonna leave. In episode 6 you'll see him either episode 6 or the end of episode 5 you'll see him at the memorial. But he'll still be free. Episode 6 you'll see the end of the Flag Smashers. You'll see them you'll see Thunderbolt Ross trying to start to form the Thunderbolts. You'll see Bucky helping Sam train with the shield, and that'll kind of end the whole story as of right now. And that's my speculation for the next 3 episodes.
Yeah. So I like the way you've laid it out. Very detailed in spots of episodes. I have not thought that far ahead.
Oh, dude, I'm already ready.
No,
it's going to adapt as we keep going.
Every episode has so many details, and I'm not gonna formulate too far ahead of time.
But that's what I do.
I don't think, like you said earlier, that you think Battlestar's gonna die, and that's what gets John Walker to go and take the super soldier serum. I think he's just gonna get access to the super soldier serum and take it. I don't feel like he needs any other motivation other than people don't respect him as Captain America, as we see in the beginning of this episode, and that's going to be more of a driving force. To, maybe, because so far every time in this episode they're a step behind Sam and Bucky. I feel like there's going to be some reason that they get the leg up and they find the super soldier serum.
Well, they probably talk to Torres. They probably talk to Torres and find out where Bucky and Sam are going, and that's probably what leads them to Latvia.
Yeah.
And that's probably where they catch up, and they instantly go after the Flag Smashers, not even talking to Sam and Bucky. They just automatically jump into it. And that's how.
In that regards, I could definitely. I could see Battlestar dying in that regard, but yeah, I don't feel like that's going to be his motivation to take the super soldier. I feel like it's more of an ego thing.
Not his only motivation, but I think that is the straw that broke the camel's back.
I feel like it's going to be more that they're probably going to be toying with him. Like Battlestar will be out of commission. I don't think they're going to kill him, but they're going to be toying with him and basically leave him for dead or just totally messed up, but somehow slip the super soldier serum or something in some way, and just gets that do you know who I am attitude and just takes it, and then he gets the whole experience of the veins on fire and everything that Carly
describes
and then he's a total douchebag from then on out. I feel like that would be a good end of episode 4 or episode 5, but it's hard to place a timeline. The pacing is really well done.
It's super well done.
There's so much more to talk about, and they have 3 more episodes, which they've already done so much in 3 episodes, but how are they going to do so much in 3 episodes? It's kind of like the duality of they have the time, but do they really have the time to tell the story that we're already starting to picture in our heads?
With 45 minutes in each episode, I think I'm pretty sure
we're getting a decent runtime for these episodes.
Last 2 episodes, predicting right now, hour long.
I really hope so.
Last two episodes. So. Last 2 episodes, I'm saying right now,
I would almost be willing to watch, wait the 2 weeks and watch both of them together if I knew they were going to be both hour-long episodes. Yeah. And just make it 1 2-hour-long movie.
Yeah.
Because that sounds epic.
Yeah.
But that would be amazing. I already, kind of messed up with the WandaVision thing, thinking that it was going to be 3 hour-long episodes at the end of that season. It was they increased in time each episode.
They increased in time, but they never got
an hour.
Yeah. Even the last one was only 55 minutes. Not including the credits.
Yeah.
If you take the credits out, it was 55 minutes.
I don't even think it was that long, to be totally honest, but I don't remember entirely.
But that about wraps it up, so.
Does it?
Does it? Does it? We went through the whole episode, we went through speculations.
Yeah. Well, there's the one conspiracy theory that I heard that kind of holds water, but not quite.
Okay, what's this? What is it?
Well, the Nazi scientist that
where's he? Oh, Zoller.
Zoller
from Winter Soldier.
Both Captain America, the First Avenger, and from Captain America and the Winter Soldier. He was the scientist who worked for Hydra, and he was also obsessed with the super soldier serum. He
transferred his consciousness into essentially a computer.
Yeah, supercomputers. And
at the time.
At the time. Yeah. And they needed entire server rooms and a whole base full of servers.
He was in a city block, a New York City block of servers.
Bunkered. underneath the
exactly.
But yeah, there's been some theories that he could be the power broker, and the main reasoning just being that he has such strong ties to the Super Soldier Serum and Captain America,
both Red Skull and Captain America, yeah,
who, you know,
as well as Bucky,
got name dropped in this episode,
as well as Bucky,
and then also, like if you look around Madripoor, there's like green screens placed like everywhere, and with that "Big Brother is watching you" sign spray painted on the wall, it's like, oh yeah, he's watching you, you know. And I don't. It like holds water.
It
but
does.
Like,
it does.
But like that much.
It holds. It does hold water.
It feels more like wild speculation, like very
Yes.
Mephisto from WandaVision kind of theories.
Mephisto nightmare. Yeah.
When everybody was just like, "Oh, it's gotta be Mephisto controlling everything." It's like, no, it's Wanda.
No, it's just Wanda.
Wanda.
I mean, it does make sense. I mean, Wanda is like one of the most powerful beings in every universe. So
yeah. But I think now that she's like, realize your powers, then Mephisto has a reason to come in and
yes, exactly.
But before that, there was no reason to believe that she was the Scarlet Witch.
True.
But anyways, we detract.
Yeah, exactly. But
it's one of those
wild
crazy
speculation.
little theories.
I like this theory. I do like this theory.
It's about as plausible as when he showed up in Winter Soldier. So I'm just saying, like,
on the contrary, Fräulein.
On the contrary, Fräulein.
Yeah. I am more alive than you can believe.
Yeah.
His German accent was glorious in that, by the way.
So ridiculously villainous and over the top. It was great.
Exactly. You are now walking through my brain.
But anyways, that was the big conspiracy theory that I heard most recently.
Exactly.
That I thought was worth mentioning. If you're over the hour into the video that we are in,
it's whatever. You could just listen to us.
Yeah, exactly.
I could see that being plausible. I don't think it's gonna happen.
I don't think it's gonna happen either.
But I can see how it's plausible at the same time.
Done crazier things.
True facts.
In these movies and in these shows
and in comics,
everything, and don't even get started about the comics.
Seriously,
that's a whole series in and of itself,
which I may do. I've been itching to talk about comics anyways.
Why not? Why not?
Exactly. It'll give me another excuse to drink beer. Anyway, so we're gonna end on that note.
Here's to you.
Here's to me.
Friends for life we shall always be.
If by chance we disagree,
I'm not screw you.
Here's to me. I was almost done again.
I was also almost done, but not as close.
I had like a sip left.
Cheers!
Cheers!